Alright, how we doing, folks? Your boy Marcos 205 numbers after the name. Modern Warfare Remastered here. That Call of Duty, nah, me. Still haven't touched Infinite Warfare, unfortunately. I haven't had the time, and I'm kind of in full Modern Warfare, so I don't know when I will touch it. Playing on Overgrown over here, which has already came up to be probably my favorite map of the game, by far. It's probably not the most fan favorite, but I damn sure like it, man. I've had some really good games on it, as we're going to see over here. Lay down that murder game. This is kind of the class setup that I'm running right now, man. M4 Carbine, like I talked about yesterday, with the red dot on it. It's kind of the last, I think, assault rifle that I've unlocked it. I haven't gotten to like the G3s or anything like that. Jumped out the window. Fall damage. You remember when that used to be a thing back in Call of Duty? Look at that flashbang. The power behind the flashbang. Throw a nade over there. See there's someone over there to my right. I dip back in. I'm like, all right, I'll come back to you. Don't worry about that. That's the only reason why I kind of prefer the M4 to do stuff like that. And I was using the AK, and I was actually doing pretty well with it as well. Just be able to dip and dive and shoot over there. Like the M16, the only issue I had with it is my accuracy isn't really the best right now. So I felt like oftentimes if I would miss with the M16, I was clapped, right? You get the 3 bursts. If you got the 3 bursts on the guy, he's down. No doubt about it. But if you miss, the M4 I think gives you a little more leeway to miss over there. The other thing I added to my also I unlocked last night were the claymores, right? So I had, and check this guy out. I still don't really know exactly how this guy did this. I guess he just kind of ghillie suited his way through the damn weeds over there, and I couldn't see him. So kudos to him. And over here, I was like just thinking, like a little bit confused, like how the hell did that happen over there? I suck with the airstrikes, by the way. You'll see, I never really get kills with them ever. I'm just not good with them. I'm not really good with timing of them. I'm not really good with the spawns yet exactly. Like right here, I know that this gas station up over here is a pretty wild spawn. Yeah, I'm not really too good with it. But the thing that I like today, man, were the claymores. And that, to me, is a game changer. I'll talk about that probably more in, like, my Tight Tuesday. I don't like the stiff motion of what you laid down with, but, hey, that's probably what it was at the time, and that's it. You know, eventually in Black Ops 1, it becomes a lot smoother. We could kind of lay down. And I was trying to draw some attention. I wanted to get my red dot on the map. I wanted people to know I was here and about, and I wanted to kind of run over there. Claymore gets the kill. The cool thing about the Claymore, man, is that it gets you that extra kill, you know, that extra kill you kind of don't count on. So you're streaking over here. Your streak's 357, right? The 357 for everybody. We're all doing the same thing, trying to get the 357. The 3 you can get to fairly easily. The 5 you can get to even pretty easily. The 7 sometimes you have a little bit of an issue, and that's why it's cool when... Yeah, obviously, it's cool if you get the damn airstrike to actually hit the damn thing. That's for starters, because the kill streak stacks, so that's pretty good in that regard. But it's also cool when you got like a claymore laying around, you know, maybe you're at like 4 kills and all of a sudden the claymore will get something. It also protects you from coming in and out. And especially in this early doing of the game, people still really aren't expecting it too much, so you kind of have to position it in popular locations of the map. And you'll see me do that kind of off and on. Sometimes I will just put the claymore down in maybe not the most popular location, but maybe a location that I say, hey, people eventually walk by here. The goal with me laying down the claymore is also saying that I'm going to be alive for a little bit. The claymore is only effective if you're alive. If you're dead, the claymore ain't going to do you much good. So to me, it kind of symbolizes like, I'm going to be alive, I'm going to put it down here, and eventually, like I sometimes will put it like where I spawn. With the idea and the notion of eventually this spawn will be flipped, and eventually somebody will come by here once the spawn's flipped over here. It might take 30 seconds, it might take 45. That claymore's going to sit there. It ain't going to do no harm. They are pretty easy to see in this game. You could see like the red lights sticking from far away. I don't even do the best job positioning them, honestly. You'll see in this video. I oftentimes put them in a way that you'll be able to see them from other places. But most people are kind of running. They're really not looking for claymores, at least right now. Maybe when the game, you know, when people start leveling up and there's more people out there with them, maybe people start paying attention. I personally don't really. Now, they do make a pretty loud distinct, like that right there was poor placement right there for the claymore. One thing I'm very excited of is to get good enough to shoot through these pine trees to the other window. I'm not there yet. I tried it one of my other games. I don't try in this one. I don't think I have the circumstances, but I'm really excited. This main building over here is kind of where everything goes down. At least I feel everything goes down. Aside from the other side, it kind of depends on where you want to snipe, but this kind of overlooks main spawn over there, and you could also play around with the other side of the map. You could kind of look around there, peek in and out, depending on where people are. In this case, both these guys are upstairs. I kind of threw that nade just hoping maybe that one of them was downstairs and he get cooked in there and just trapped. But even so, sometimes I'll concede and give them the house like I'm doing right here, and I'm like, all right. They got the house. They're going to spawn over there. I'm going to be able to pop them. Now, you got to stick and move, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep it moving. That guy probably should have had me. Call in the streak, hide under the damn thing. Woo, take a little breather. Sometimes you got to take a little breather. Time to kill in this game is pretty quick. I feel, honestly, it's a little bit quicker than it was in the original. I think kind of it just works better than the original. Like, I think maybe my internet connection is probably better than it was at the time by miles. I mean, you got to think about it. This game came out 7-8 years ago. Think about how much better your internet is right here than what it was, you know. This game came out in a time where Wi-Fi wasn't even like a normal thing on like your systems, you know. Completely forgot this helicopter wasn't ours, by the way. I was cruising out there and I had no regard for the helicopter. I mentioned this a little bit in my Tuesday video. I kind of am on two ways in terms of the helicopter. I started off very strong when I was playing Husani. I was like, listen, man, I'm gonna take them all down. There's gonna be no way if and or buts, and I'm not gonna take them down. I was playing the captain, and I was doing that, and in the process, I'd die 4 or 5 times. Sometimes, so oftentimes, I'd knock it down, you know, once, maybe 2 lives. You know, if someone happened to roll up on me. And I'm over here, I'm hearing footsteps. I'm so confused. I was like, what are these footsteps? Footsteps are loud in this game, without a doubt. So anyway, back to the chopper, and then we'll get to the footsteps. I started shooting them down, you know, but oftentimes I'd get myself stuck with 3 or 4 deaths, sometimes from the chopper, but oftentimes just people that just happened to see me and saw me trying to take down a chopper and pop me, because guess what? It's probably one of the easiest kills you get in the game. And then I kind of refused to do it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I will pick my points in now where I do and don't. But for the most part, I will honestly leave it and not go ahead and take it out. I'd rather stay inside a building and put in work, and also slow the game down for me, which is something I've been really working on, just slowing it down. It's a little bit this thing, you know, when you go from playing Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, right, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, which I played a little bit, but I played enough of, you know, I played like 4 or 5 hours of it. But I went one day from playing Infinite Warfare, then I switched over to Modern Warfare Remastered, and it's night and day, right? The movement system. And I prefer the boots on the ground. I prefer this kind of system where there are limitations. You know, there's limitations to where you can jump, there's limitations where you can move, there's limitations how quick you go. You kind of have to pick your poison in terms of running and jumping and whatnot. I kind of prefer that mind game towards the jumping around all crazy lunatic thing that we have in Infinite Warfare. But it's something you have to get adjusted to, and it's night and day, man. It's crazy. I mean, check how slow we're playing this right here. We know that there's a guy down that stairwell. In Infinite Warfare, we would have like already boosted over there, slid down. Here, we calmly, meticulously give him the drop shot. Nah, I mean, played the game over there, and I thought I heard my claymore go off, and I was like, oh, yeah, I did. And then he went that way, and I was like, okay, let's go. Don't know about this guy, and I was confused. I'm like, is there another one? Hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Now, there's 2 ways up to over here in the stairwell. Sometimes I kind of forget that. Managed to get this guy over here, and then we dip and dodge, and I'm still kind of confused that there might be someone in here or not, so take a breather, slow your roll. Nah, I mean, pace of this game is a lot slower than in any Call of Duty recently, which is something I really appreciate. It took me a little bit to get used to. You know, the time to kill is pretty quick in this one too, as it is in Infinite Warfare. I actually feel that after the beta, they've made a big improvement in the time to kill in the Infinite Warfare. When I played it, it honestly played pretty good. I'm over here kind of low-key bashing a little bit, but the 5 hours I played in Infinite Warfare, it played good, man. It played smooth. It's just the dynamic of jumping around like that, to me, is just and I don't want to say that there's no skill to it, because there is a skill to it, right? There is a skill to chaining all those movements and to wall running and all that. Like, that's definitely a skill and an art in its own way, but it's not a skill or an art that I really care for or want to be a part of, you know. I prefer the art of figuring out the spawns over here, figuring out angles, figuring out head glitches, figuring out places to move, you know. It really feels like this feels like a combat simulation type game. Like, this feels like you're at war oftentimes, and I kind of feel it in the campaign as well, you know. Like, the campaign is realistic, about as realistic as you're going to get in a video game, you know what I'm saying? Whereas in Infinite Warfare, I don't really feel that. You know, that's kind of the difference between the two. That's kind of why initially here, with these 2 Duty releases, I'm leaning heavy in the remastered direction. And as somebody who played COD 4 but never really, like, I Prestige 1.5, I think. I didn't get to the 2nd Prestige. This is going to keep me entertained for most of the year. I can tell you that right now. Your boy Marcos, man. Wasteland Wednesday. Murder gang.